The ultra-high performance all-season tire market is full of choices from nearly every manufacturer and in a wide range of prices. With an almost overwhelming number of options, consumers sometimes turn to price as the key differentiator. This often leads to the question of how much more you get by selecting a premium tire, or what you can expect to give up if you go with an entry-level option. To determine the real value of some entry-level ultra-high performance all-season tires, we decided to compare the Fusion UHP Sport AS, the new RAPTOR ZR AS, and the Sumitomo HTR ASP02. Let's see what we found out. The three tires in our test performed acceptably on the road. Their level of on-road refinement doesn't match that of more premium tires, but they are likely to satisfy most drivers. The UHP Sport AS has a firm ride that could use a little better control over secondary motion, and it creates noticeable noise on all surfaces. The RAPTOR ZR AS has linear steering with a satisfying, natural buildup in effort, but the ride's quite stiff and the tread pattern growls over smooth and coarse pavement. The HTR ASP02 doesn't have any single feature that stands out as particularly good or bad, but there is some tread noise and the steering's a little slow to respond to inputs. Driven back-to-back on the dry track, the differences in personality and capability of the tires were noticeable, but for spirited backroad runs or attacking an on-ramp, any one of them will get the job done. The Riken led the way with average laps that were 0.3 of a second faster than the Fusion and half a second faster than the Sumitomo, and it had the shortest stopping distances. There was considerable separation between the group in our wet testing, with two tires performing at a level that's likely to satisfy most drivers, and one that could potentially lead to some disappointment. The UHP Sport AS led the test in all objective and subjective criteria, and it was easy to drive. The HTR ASP02 never felt like it might get the driver into trouble, but its outright traction levels were near the point that consumers may want or expect more. The limited grip of the RAPTOR ZR AS required our team to reduce the pace and use gentle inputs to stay within the tire's capabilities, which led to a nearly 4-second gap in average lap times compared to the Fusion. The entry-level ultra-high performance all-season tires in this test represent a good value proposition. They're an acceptable choice for a budget-conscious driver, but may sacrifice some on-road refinement and wet or winter traction levels compared to more premium options. The Sumitomo HTR ASP02 delivers the most balanced blend of traits, with no area where it particularly excels or struggles. Its wet performance is acceptable, with reasonable manners for a daily driven vehicle. Test-leading wet traction is a highlight for the Fusion UHP Sport AS, with passable on-road behavior and light handling. The Riken RAPTOR ZR AS leads this group in objective numbers on the dry track and in light handling on the road, but trails overall due to a firm, somewhat loud ride and disappointingly low wet traction. Capability in the ice and snow is another component in the value proposition for any all-season tire, so we're looking forward to the upcoming winter season when we can test all three to find out how each one performs during the challenge of wintertime driving. As we compare tires side by side, we find each one has its own personality. It's not as easy as simply choosing between good and bad. So as you view our test results, it's important to focus on your priorities and what fits best with how, where, and what you drive. And also be sure to go to TireRack.com to view our full test report and learn more about the tires featured in this test.